I repeat once again, add connection should be used only when you want to establish a connection of a database which is already there or created at SQL Server. Okay, so as of now we don't have, so I don't work with add connection. Rather, I go with new SQL Server database. Click on it. Server name already you know, dot. Database name I want to have as MS DemoDB. Last session I gave you complete architecture, everything about the database. MDF, NDF, LDF, everything I've explained you. Click on OK. Yes, here database is created. You go to this, you have your tables, views, stored procedures, everything available. Now what do you want is, now what exactly you want is, now you want to create one table. You want to create one table. So where you want to create a table now? Obviously, when database is a SQL Server, so even table will also be part of SQL Server only. So fine, we'll go and create one table. Now, how you want to create table, that is important. Either you want to have, like I meant to say, wizard support, or you want to write a query. So obviously, as of now, we want to go with what? Wizard support you need. So how would you do that? Tables, right click. Here I have add new table. Okay. No? Yes, here table it will show. Create table name. But we'll make everything here only. First column. EMP ID. Here you can change. Instead of writing table, I want to give a table name as EMP. EMP. Okay. Employee. An interesting thing for employee is it's already mentioned there, it is a primary key column. It is a primary key. Here it is mentioned primary key. Employee ID is primary key. Acha, another interesting thing what I want is the same employee ID I even want to have as identity, so that for this employee ID automatically numbers are generated. Here I have here properties. You all know how to open properties of this, right? So you can just say F4, you get properties window. Here I have identity specification, is identity true, and you can find start value, increment value, both of them are available. Start value 1, increment value 1. Top value depends on your data type. Yeah. Anyone has any queries here? You can ask me. Primary key speciality is what? Primary key is called constraint. And what primary key does? Primary key avoids redundancy and avoids null values. Simple to conclude, no nulls, no duplicate. No nulls, no duplicate. No nulls, no duplicate. That is employee ID. Identity specification, what did I say? identity. It will generate numbers automatically. Identity means which will generate numbers automatically. If you are maintaining any running notes for this uh, subject, then and there you can make a note of it. However, video will be shared, that is different point, but still for your reference, you can make a note. Two things I said. What type of data it will have? Integer type. Integer. SQL Server also has different types of integer, like C Sharp has. C Sharp has byte. C Sharp has short int, long int, only int. You have all these different categories of integer data types in your C Sharp. Same way, SQL Server also has different data types. Different data types. Different data types. And what are those different types? You already I said you like. In SQL Server also you have different types. I said now. What are they? Int is there. One more is there. Tiny int. TINY. Tiny int. We have something called big int. We have something called small int. Small int. Big int. Tiny int. Only int. All these are different data types we have. All these. Now, second column we have as EMP name varchar of 20. Varchar of what? 20. Now remember, in SQL Server, when I say varchar, it represents string type data. Varchar means string it is. And there are two representations in SQL Server. Varchar is there, and one more is also there. Nvarchar. Varchar, nvarchar. If I say nvarchar and varchar, if I use both of them, varchar will represent data with ASCII codes. ASCII, ASCII codes, varchar. Nvarchar represents data with Unicode. And varchar, how much size I gave? 20. Minimum I can give 1. Minimum. Customized to 20. Maximum it can be up to 8,000. And default will be 50. Minimum 1, default 50, customized to 20, max is up to 8,000. That is varchar. Third column we have, that is called identity column. Romana, this is for you. You asked me a question. Repeating identity. Identity, when I say, it means that column will generate numbers automatically for that column. Numbers are generated automatically. Start from 1, increments by 1. The third column we have EMP salary. Data type is money. We have one data type, money. Money allocates fixed memory of 8 bytes. 8. And small money is also there. That will allocate memory of 4 bytes. So now that is all about SQL Server. But already table name you gave as what? EMP. Once this all specifications are over, click on update. Yes. And one more, before I say update database here, how many columns are there in my table now? Please use chat panel, everyone. Everyone use chat panel. How many columns are there in my table now? 3 columns, right? Remember one thing. Correct, 3 columns. Now remember one thing. Table can have minimum 1 column and maximum it can have 1024 columns. Table can have minimum 1 and maximum 1024 columns you can have in one table. But for us now, 3 columns are there for us. Then I created 3 columns. Okay, everyone? Fine. Now click on update database. Yes. You find a message there. Update completed successfully. Here you'll get that message. Successfully. Which means now your table is ready. Your table is created. But close the design window. Done. Our table is ready. You want to check the table? Go to Server Explorer. Once refresh this connection. Go to tables. EMP table. EMP table. Yes. Data connection name, tables. Then you have to expand this table. You have a table called EMP table. Okay. This is how you create a table in your this one. And one more thing also you have to remember. One more thing. I'll open that structure again. Here, open table definition. Remember this point as well. Currently, you said na table has 3 columns. Okay, fine. Remember one more point. A table in SQL Server can have 3 categories of columns. A table can have three categories of columns. What are they? One already I said there. One. What is it? Identity column. Well, the single column will be there by name. Single column will be there in the table called identity column. E-name, salary are there, na? They are called normal columns. They are called normal column. One more will be there. I didn't create. We don't need. That is called annual salary. Computed column. So I just demonstrate for annual salary so that you can get idea of it. What is it called? Computed column. So totally how many now? 3 categories: identity column, normal column, computed column. I just show. I won't create that. Only for your knowledge I'll create. How do you create here is, I can say EMP annual salary. Say money. Okay. Now you want to have calculation for this. So you can go to properties of this column, F4. Here, computed column specification formula. You have to say EMP salary Here I'll write better. I'll just say here. Uh, so might be I should not give data type. Might be. Okay, we'll try without data type. Annual salary, properties, data type, yeah, here it took EMP salary into 12. It will take actually, we are typing here, but it will allow you. Okay, anyways. So that is how you create computed column with mathematical expression. Okay, so not required, only for demonstration again. Update once again. Again, update database. Successful. You're done with 3 columns in the table. Check, expand. ID, name, salary. Okay. Now question is, how do you create uh, something like table instead of wizard through script I want to create through script. So I want to write a query for that. So you can come like this: file, new, file, file, new, file. Then after you can just come down. Here you have SQL file. Click on open. Okay. That will open environment where you can write query to create. You want to see that as well. Okay. File, new, new, file, SQL file. Click on open. Here you have an option. Connect. Yes. Same. Server name. Dot. Here. Dot. Database name. MS Demo DB. MS Demo DB. Click connect. Yes, connected. Now we have to write a query. How do you write like this? Create table EMP EMP ID integer primary key identity EMP name varchar 20 EMP salary money. Well, after that, select this command, right click, you have to execute it here. Shortcut key control plus shift plus E. You can just click on execute. For me, it's already there. I can't. It will be error even if I create. This is how you're supposed to do. Disconnect. Close this file. This is for your reference again. That's it. Now you have a table. So I don't definitely I'm not looking forward for it. You want to see what is the data is not there. Show table data. Blank. No rows, nothing. Yes. That's it. Close this. Exit. We will restart again. Yes, remember our database is ready, our connections are ready, everything. Now we are going with C#. Open Visual Studio again. Where it is? Visual Studio. Here, 2017. Click. Now, you want to create what? C# now. You want to establish connection to C#. How do you start? File, new project. Here I have Windows Forms application, not this location. I want to have somewhere else. Browse this PC, C drive, CS batch PM, click select folder, and you should write here demo on managed provider. Click on OK. Yes. Yes, form is ready. Now what you have to do on this form, place one button now. And here I am going to make you learn of only how to establish a connection with SQL Server and database. Only that part we will cover now. Only that part. Okay, how to establish connection with the SQL Server and then with the database. Then now you go to solution. Sorry, toolbox. Toolbox. How to open toolbox? toolbox. Okay, so toolbox में here all Windows forms, simply drag and drop a button here. Yes, right, and then you want to give a text for it. Right click, go to properties, and you give here text, test connection, name, BTN test connection. Okay, little you expand this. Yes, test connection, and you gave the name as BTN test connection. Yes. Now I double click on this button to establish a connection. Double click. Click event is generated. BTN test click event is generated. Now, with which RDBMS you want to establish connection? Use chat panel, please. C# doesn't know anything about it, so you have to explain to C# now. So how do you explain now for SQL, for C# that it should establish a connection? So you're planning to establish a connection, or you want to establish a connection with the SQL server. How do you explain that part? So for that you have to explain here using system dot data dot SQL client. So this will establish a connection with the SQL server. Okay. So here would which one? SQL client. And now you're going to use one class called SQL connection. Con variable equal to new SQL connection constructor. And here comes a rule. And that rule is now imagine, like, if we all are one team developing a project for C#, we all 5 people are there. No, including me, 6. We are all 6 people now. We all make one team and we are planning to develop an application on using C#. We all are planning to develop an application in C#. Now, interesting thing is that since we all are working for one project, so definitely we all want to work with database. Project is only one, but programming may differ. One is doing some work, one is doing some work, and you're all doing from your personal laptop. So obviously you all want to make a connection with the database now. Anand wants to connect to the same database. Labhi wants to connect to the same database. Raghav also to the same. Roman also same. Srinivas, even me also want to connect. Means around now, how many connections are established on the database now? So it's 6 connections we have now. 6 connections. All are working on same database. Tables may differ, columns may differ, purpose may differ, but all are working on what? Same database. So like this, Microsoft has given a provision of connecting with 100 people at a time. Means 100 connections can be made to SQL Server database from C#. 100 connections. So it's always recommended as well that you have to close the connection. Remember that point plus interview query did. How many connections you can make? 100 connections. At a time, I'm saying. At a time. Okay. Now, coming to the next part of this, to establish a connection, you should explain C# that go to that server, go to this instance, everything you have to explain. So for that we write here con dot connection string equal to, now we are going to write here. What do we write? First you have to write here server equal to, which server? Local dot, or type your system name, left to you. So better first we'll try with dot, then I'll show you with system name, or first we'll try with system name. Okay, I'll go there one. Command prompt, host name, copy this, paste here. Yes, semicolon. Then what else you do? Here you have to write database equal to which database? MS Demo DB. MS Demo DB. Which authentication? Windows authentication. It means it should connect with Windows credentials. So I write integrated security equal to true. True. And now interesting point is we don't know whether whatever the connection string that I gave here, is it right or wrong? We don't know. So to check that, exception handling, try connection dot open. If everything goes successful, message box dot show connected successfully. If it doesn't connect, catch SQL exception EX. Put your message. Reason we will know. EX dot message. Built-in message you get. And after going with this catch block, we want to close. If everything is successful, you want to close the connection. And we all know very well, exception handling, finally block, 100% executed block. This is 100% execution block. Confirm this block is executed. Then you have to check the status of the connection now. If connection con dot state is equal to connection state dot options, you see, broken, closed, connecting, executing, fetching, open. You want to check whether it is opened or not. If it is open, close. Done. Execute the code. If any corrections, now we'll get to know where we did mistake in writing the connection. Click on test connection. Successful. No issue. Everyone understood this code? Everyone. Every line is important in it. Every line. Now what I'll do, same connection only, second approach I'll cover. I'll comment this, I'll copy this, paste, second approach. Here, instead of writing server, you can write data source. Instead of writing server. Instead of writing this machine name, we can keep dot local server. Second, instead of writing database, you can write initial catalog. Instead of writing integrated security, we can write trusted connection equal to yes. Because Windows authentication, another name is trusted connection, which I made as what? Yes. Go for it. Save this one. Control F5. Successful. Click on it. Successful. This is also working. Second approach I'll cover. Third approach. This is all Windows now. Now SQL Server authentication. This is all Windows authentication. Second approach. I mean, this is the third one. Server. Instead of server, data source. Dot. Instead of writing database, I said initial catalog. Instead of writing integrated security equal to true and trusted connection, instead of that, you can say user name equal to SA, password equals to 123. Let's try this also. Run the code. Successful. Click on it. Oh, some issue is there. Keyword not supported, username. What? Achha, oh, sorry. User ID it is. User ID SA, password ID you should say. Oh, I've written username. Yeah, now it should work. Successful. Windows authentication is also working. SQL Server authentication is also working. Both of them are supporting to establishment. And I'll do one thing. I don't want to copy all this. I don't want to write all this. Okay, do one thing. You want to get it done automatically. Con dot connection string equal to, don't write anything. Instead, you go to Server Explorer. You have a connection here. Refresh it. Yeah, it's on now. Right click on that connection. Go to properties. Here I have connection string. Select all. Control C. Come back to program. Control V. Now pooling and all I don't need now. I don't need. So it's working with Windows authentication now. Same. Control F5. I didn't type. We brought it for automatic. Successful. So this is copy paste. Like we didn't try. Yeah. You have any queries, small query, whatever you find, any question, ask me. I'll get it clarified. SQL Server is software. SQL Server is RDBM. SQL is language in it. That's the difference. Okay. Now, another interesting thing also I'll show. T-SQL is programming in SQL Server. T-SQL called Transact SQL. Transact SQL. There is also language only, part of SQL Server only. Oracle may they call this as PL SQL. Microsoft calls as T-SQL. Oracle calls as PL SQL. SQL is common. It's there in Oracle also. It's there in SQL Server also. SQL language. It's available in all RDBA. SQL Server, MS SQL. MS SQL is what? That is called SQL Server itself is called MS SQL Server. MySQL is there. SQL Server, MySQL. These two are different RDBM. SQL Server is different, MySQL is different. Two different RDBM. Okay. Now, another approach in this process is instead of writing connection string separately, here, this line and this line separately, you can club both of them in single line. SQL connection con equals to new SQL connection. Double quote, semicolon. Copy paste all these things from here till end. Well, save this, run the code. Click. Save output. Instead of writing separate line as connection string, it's better you club it. In your connection itself, you write. Over, connection is established. Okay, clear everyone? Did you understand total part of this connection established? Now, this process, what we have opted for establishing a connection with SQL Server and its database, whatever the process we have established, this has a drawback. This has a disadvantage. So to overcome this problem, we move on to one more approach. One more approach. Second approach to establish connection with the database. Okay, Srinivas, everything clear in this part? Okay, Srinivas. Okay, one part is over, Srinivas. Connectivity, we started. We have now entered into ADO.NET, where we are trying to communicate with SQL Server and database from C# application. Okay. Tomorrow, first I'll show you disadvantage of this technique. Then I'll show you how to establish connection with one more process. Then we'll see. Remember, na, 4 managed providers we have, 4. SQL client. Tomorrow I'm going to talk on SQL client only, but another approach of SQL client. Then we have Oracle connection. Then we have, Oracle client, OLEDB, ODBC. 4. So tomorrow will be completing only this connection strings part. Total will talk only on connection string. Over. Then after we'll be seeing we'll be learning how to perform operations on database. That part will cover. Okay? Chalo, fine then. So we'll stop the session here. See you tomorrow.